Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Xufe as our Africa Corps. His teammate today is going to be the 101st Airborne ITA as our Wehrmacht. And their opponents are going to be Momo4sho as our red player and the Yarbage Man as our purple player. Now, the Yarbage Man is Havoc, and that's actually showing in the MMR tracker at the top there. And yeah, hope you guys are up for a 2v2 today. It's been a little while since I cast one. I was enjoying those team games I was casting the other week, even though I didn't actually mean to cast like 4 in a row. But yeah, thought it might be fun today. Map today's going to be Day 101. And this map has a river running down the middle, some critical fuel right here. And if you can manage to get across the river, you can capture some close fuel. But I suspect we're going to see fights up and down the river, and then folks kind of controlling one or multiple buildings in this town, and we'll see how it plays out here. So our teal player has opened heavy machine gun into grenadier. So that's going to limit his capturing power in the early game, but he's going to have a mix of utility and crowd control. And he's playing against the red player on this bottom side for the moment, and actually both players from our allies kind of teaming up here on the bottom. But is up against Australian defense battle group here. Has already added on the Australian light infantry for that capturing power, as well as the Stingo for a little bit of CC. I mean, he's clearly controlling his opponent's units there, not letting them out on the map. Scout and heavy machine gun from our US player, the Yarbage Man, holding it down here. And is being forced to reposition by those grenadiers. And it looks like it's going to be heavy machine gun spam for Havoc here, our purple player. Now blue is basically fighting unimpeded in that top quadrant of the map right now. Just grabbing everything for free. He opened with Motorcycle, Panzer Pioneer, and 250, and now adding on Assault Grenadier, so really quickly going up to that infantry support company. Interesting choice. Grenadiers getting a decent flank here. Bazooka's trying to push back these Grenadiers, but not going to do a whole lot, even with the help of those scouts. Nice turn here, going to suppress these Grenadiers. And more units on the way. So it does look like our US players are going to hold this territory. I kind of like this strategy. I mean, they're clearly prioritizing this fuel point right here. They're going to even out by grabbing that fuel up there and put themselves in a really good position for the start of this game. Bazookas and Dingo finding this 250 hit. Assault Grenadiers disembarking, but the Bazooka's missing. So that 250 is going to get out of there safely. Heavy machine gun being forced to reposition. Smoke popped in the face of that heavy machine gun, but it's already moved. There's a second heavy machine gun here. So totally ready for this push, and very cool to see our allies teaming up to defend this fuel point. Love to see our Africa Corps player get active with his units, maybe go for this fuel. I know, of course, there's units in the area, and it's not that simple. But if your opponent is force concentrating in a particular area, you need to be elsewhere on the map, and I guess he is doing that with that motorbike on the right side there. Grabbing up the fuel even, so lovely to see that. Bazookas, heavy machine guns, scouts all ready for this push. We're seeing a half-track next. So our purple US player are going to be heavily leaning into the meta here. Panzerjäger's added on for our blue player. Maybe worried about a light vehicle switch, or maybe just needing to deal with the Stingo. And Grenadier spam continuing for our teal player, going to give him access to plenty of utility, and he's going to go Panzer Grenadier Company next. It feels like we're going to see some Panzer Grenadiers, but we might see an early AT gun if they see this half-track sooner rather than later. Feels like they're going to need a strong answer to that. Half-track looking to get involved, but deciding better of it there. And yeah, nicely done here. Both teams just going to continue to fight it out over this fuel. Now, the focus on this fuel has led to a situation where our Axis players have been able to grab up the fuel on this top side, and is going to prevent him from, or prevent our allies from having a fuel advantage here. Love to see some units roll up there, but so far not going to be doing that. Rail engineers pushing across this river with the support of that Australian light infantry. Aren't going to get a whole lot done there. We do see an upgraded AA half-track there. So much barbed wire being built here that we can't see the support elements being added on. But support elements are on the way. And Stewart's on the way for our British player. Very cool. So for those of you that don't know, Momo4sho, as well as the Arbage Man, aka Havoc, both stream on Twitch. And I think Havoc definitely has a YouTube channel. I don't know if Momo does, but I'd highly recommend checking them out across the various platforms. Havoc has a lot of great tutorials on maps, so highly recommend that. And sort of lines drawn in the sand here. Australian light infantry are going to grab away this fuel. 2 loaded up 250s. Man, he's piling on the Panzerjägers. And he has locked in the Panzerjäger battle group, so feels like we're going to see tank busters here. Now, tank busters in a 250, for those of you that watched that 4v4 game I cast the other week, know just how powerful high veterancy 250s in combination with Panzerjäger or tank busters can really be. Because those 250s get lots of evasion at tier 3, and it can lead to some crazy situations. AT gun setting up on the AA half-track there is going to force him back. And a nice little flank here from those Grenadiers, going to pick up that half-track. Well done. Heavy machine gun trying to hold it down, but unable to do so. Units going down. Looks like the AT gun is going to be stolen, but going to trade a scout for that. That's definitely a trade the US player is willing to take. And this heavy machine gun might go down as well. Is probably going to go down there. Nicely done. And instantly going to be stolen away. Stewart arriving on the front line, driving back those Pioneers. And some pretty heavy losses to start off this game here for our German players. I would say that fuel is actually favoring... Well, let me see there. Okay, so dead even. Fuel is dead even at this moment. But looks like munitions is definitely favoring our Germans. Don't know if that's going to matter a whole lot. Looks like those bazookas are attacking this heavy cover here. They're going to destroy it, deny it to his opponent, make this area easier to hold. Love to see that. Assault Grenadiers finding a nice little angle here on these engineers, breaching the building there. I don't know if it got canceled or blocked by this barbed wire, but that was a little bit of an interesting interaction. And Assault Gren's going to continue to chase. And more barbed wire going down there, so German players wanting to deny that city area to their opponents. Infantry training on the way for a British player. Really going to beef up the combat effectiveness of those Aussies. Their veterancy 1 ability is freaking scary. AT gun absolutely shredding this tiny little house. 1 shot, basically taking half the health there. And heavy machine gun going to respect that. Panzer Command are already on the way for our Africa Corps player. Despite a seemingly a dominant map presence here from our allies, feels like they are going even here and have the option to go even harder if they want to, but not doing it right now. Finally, Scout's going to roll up and grab this free point. Oh my god, that is so much freaking barbed wire.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
And just totally blocked off, isn't he? Yeah, well done. That's not easy to do. I mean, he had a lot of time up there, our German player did, to set all that up. That's crazy. And he is going to use the Stewart to destroy it. It's going to take a hot minute, but he is going to be able to get through there. And it looks like Panzer Company on the way for our Wehrmacht player. So we're going to see some light tanks, or some tanks coming out very, very soon. Our allies are going to be slower to get there, I would say. Has our US player added on any of his techs? Mandos does have advanced logistics, so yeah. Our allies have invested quite a bit of fuel into their lower technologies, like these Stuarts, like these advanced logistics. But I think that's translating into a potentially dominant position here, but Axis catching up. We're seeing Stosstroop added on. Here come those. They're not upgraded to tank busters yet, but those Panzerjäger are gonna be really, really scary if they want to dive here. And a Flak 36 on the way for our Africa Corps player. Very cool. I think Flak 36 on this map could be pretty darn powerful. This is a huge freaking push from our allies, moving everything up into this top side. Gonna pick up those Assault Grenadiers on their way out. Lovely little flank here, distracting by destroying this barbed wire with the Stuart. And then rolling in, coordinated. I'm sure these players are in voice chat. You do see these high-level players get into chat rooms with each other if they see each other on the ladder. I've seen Ray and Zulu team up that way. And nice, so gonna move into this top area in a big way, grab up the victory points, grab up the munitions and fuel. Our Wehrmacht player responding with force here does have these Stosstroop. Now Stosstroop actually struggle a bit against Australian light infantry if they're using their upgrade snipe ability. See if he ends up doing that. Grenade on the retreat path. He threw the grenade into the building, but also in the door there. So if those Australian light infantry hopped out of the house too late, they would eat the grenade. But Momo4sho, too good for that. Not going to let it happen. And I accidentally swapped colors. Sorry about that. And by swapping colors, I mean swapped our players' sides. Black 36 is on the field. Where's he at? Not set up just yet. Looking for trouble from those Stuarts, and we're seeing a Sturmpanzer on the way for our Wehrmacht player. Really favoring that anti-infantry. Sturmpanzer are going to do pretty darn well against those commandos and bazookas. But as these bazookas vet up, they'll be able to do better. Survival training on the way for our US player. Going to give him that 10 health per model, which will make a big difference, especially against that Sturmpanzer. I don't know if it lets you survive 2 shots against a Sturmpanzer. I mean, I guess it depends on how close your units are getting hit. But it's just a strong upgrade all around. Freaking barbed wire everywhere, dude. Panzer officer quarters on the way. Gonna hit those Stosstroop and the Sturmpanzer with that Vet 1. And grenades. Gonna take out that mine. I was like, in the retreat path, question mark? But no, just gonna take out that mine. And allied players in a dominant position here. Controlling all the fuel. Controlling 2 out of 3 victory points. And big push here. Both players working in concert to move into this area. Now, those Stuarts are thinking about something. Not a place you want to be as a Stuart. I feel like we're going to see our... Okay, he's going to go for bishops here. Sturmpanzer are going to eat the full wrath of all these anti-tank weapons. Is going to be forced back there. AT gun not going to take a second shot. And we're seeing indirect fire coming in for both our players here. Flak 36 finding that Stuart. Probably has another shot. Smoke popped. Going to let him get out. And nice little push here. German's going to pick up. Looks like they're going to manage to get the fuel. Probably the extra victory point here. Stop the bleeding. And Sturmpanzer can just face down this AT gun, no problem. That heavy armor doing wonders for him. And is going to wipe him. Flak 36 going to pick up a Stuart. And German players could probably continue the advance here, but there is an artillery barrage coming down. I think that was from the Stuart there. Going to destroy his own pack gun. Doesn't want his opponent to recrew that. Actually isn't going to finish the kill there. Losing vision of that weapon. Finding it now, though. And both players just going to trade halves of the map. So, fuel still even here. But victory point's going to favor our German players, and both teams going for indirect fire. We're seeing double bishop from our British player. And a Stuka for our Africa Corps player. Light vehicle training going to boost those bishops up. Tank depot on the way for our US player. Feels like we're going to see some 76 millimeters at some point this game. More grenades, going to find some more mines. Sturmpanzer looking for trouble, going to find it. But going to trade some damage against those bazookas. And here comes the Stuka barrage. US player immediately retreating, not wanting to deal with that. Is going to get out of there relatively unscathed. And those Stas-Truppen at maximum range doing work against these low veterancy commandos. I suspect this dynamic will change over the course of the game, but for right now, those commandos are going to get absolutely owned and are going to be driven back there. 2-pounder added on for our British player to help deal with this Sturmpanzer, or vehicles in general. Not going to do a whole lot, to be totally honest. Stewart covering the retreat. Nicely done there. Some Captain and heavy machine gun going to force back some Pioneers, or Grenadiers, I should say. But this is a nasty little flank here. Going to get in behind this heavy machine gun. Black half-track on the way. Interesting choice. And this might be a dead heavy machine gun if he doesn't react quickly here. And I might close one of these. Might have to close these guys because they're taking up quite a bit of screen real estate there. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now, and you guys can let me know in the comments if that's distracting or if you like it. You know what? I don't like it, so I'm gonna hide it. And we're just gonna go one player for now from each team. Take a peek at that as the game goes on. So bishops gonna. Oh, that's a dead Stas-Truppen, and on a bad retreat path there. Nice little pickup by those bishops. But Germans still firmly in control of this center area. More Stas-Truppen ready for this push. On the bottom side, going to be Hellcats for our US player. Interesting. Hellcats short term going to be able to deal with the Sturmpanzer. And I mean long term they can get very, very scary, but they don't have that fighting strength potential. And Bishop taking a ton of damage. Oh man. That walking Stuka nearly picking up the commandos there is going to get him out safely after losing a ton of manpower to that. And yeah, no real changes here. Both players staying the course. So what is next for our allies here? I mean, I'm wanting him to get up into company command post, but I don't actually know what I want him to pick up out of company command post. 17-pounder can be pretty decent on a map like this. Crusader's going to struggle against that Flak 36, of course, but could be using them in the wings. Bingo going down there to Flak 36, I think. Here comes a double barrage. Going to hit that Flak 36. Try and take him out of there. But long-range barrage is a little bit inaccurate. Is getting some good hits there. Looks like he might have been trying to take out the AA gun there. This Flak 36 might go down. Hasn't seen it just yet. Sturmpanzer moving forward with the blob of AT and infantry in support. Heavy machine gun in a nice spot, though. And Bazooka's not going to let this happen. Call in from our Wehrmacht player. That's the strafing run from the Luftwaffe battle group. By the way, he has made it up to the infantry reserves there, so getting a discount on his infantry reinforcements really going to help him field more infantry. So far, only taking advantage of it with Stas-Truppen. Commandos doing work here. And now that they've started to get some veterancy under their belts here, able to deal a little bit better with those Stas-Truppen. And we're switching to bazookas. Going to connect a little bit with that Sturmpanzer, drive him back, fight up in this top side. Looks like it's just infantry on infantry action, even though this Hellcat wants to be helpful. I'm thinking that US player probably wishes that that was a Stuart right about now. But no more tanks for him. Wonder if we're going to see archers this game from Momo. I mean, he does have the Australian. It's floating quite a bit of fuel. And it could definitely help against... Could definitely help here. Bishop getting some good damage. But not going to clean up any units there. Yeah, and I really wish I could have all this on the screen at the same time. More Stas trooping on the way. For our German player, I hear some... Was that flak shooting somewhere? Yep, gonna deal with this heavy machine gun. Just using a few units to control this top side by both players. Not really being aggressive. Most of the fighting taking place down here, focused on this fuel and victory point combo in the middle. And then same again, just a little bit of fighting happening on that bottom side. Sherman up next for the Yardage Man. Blue player still hasn't added anything on. Has he picked up any techs? And I keep switching our team sides. Sorry about that. It's fixed once again. Here comes a barrage. Not going to find anything. Those Aussies closing the gap here. Getting a flank on the AT gun, potentially. Actually focusing the Stas Truppen instead. A fight happening down here. Stas Truppen shredding everything. Good lord, two of those Stas Truppen together is freaking scary. Sherman nearly complete. And Bishop's continuing to fire. Where are they shooting at? Right here down the middle. Actually going to get a decent connection. AT gun, bazooka combo. Making short work of the Sturmpanzer, forcing him back. And this looks real scary. Heavy machine gun is ready for it, though. The Stas Truppen, of course, can use their fire, walk into suppression. We're going to see them do that, instantly killing that heavy machine gun. Bishop's not firing at the right spot. There is a Sherman on the scene. We're going to see a snare coming down from our German player. And what does that call in? It's going to be the Stuka Loiter, I believe. Wait, was that a US? Oh, it was a US. Yeah, so that was the anti-infantry loiter from our US player. Nicely done. Going to let him hold down this area. And we do see a 76mm Sherman here, upgraded. And the Hellcat went down? Oh yeah, he did go down. And man, that's what it is about 2v2s, right? It's just so much going on and hard to see it all happening at once. Here comes a Stuka barrage coming down right here in the middle. Going to connect with this Archer. Not going to get a direct hit, though. Is going to bring down the 2-pounder, but this Archer ready for the fight. We see the Sturmpanzer. Sturmpanzer still up and kicking. And a recon tractor on the way for our Afrika Korps player. For that super high utility of indirect fire and smoke. As well as unit detection if he needs it. And machine gun. Holding down these assault grenadiers. Again, we're just seeing tiny little fights up here. 1 or 2 units moving into an area, holding it down. I really like the commandos for this role, right? They have a mix of anti-infantry and anti-tank. And interestingly, our German player is going to use his recon tractor for the unit detection there, so he can see into the fog of war here. But of course, we saw that change that allows indirect fire to see, allows scanning units to be seen in the fog of war as well as sort of a counterplay mechanism. We're seeing that here. And this Archer has to be really careful of that Flak 36. Bishop's barraging away, still not connecting. Sherman in the area, trying to fight back these Sturmpanzers. Pack gun finding him though. Flak 36 not helping out though. 2-pounder going to go down again. And we do see a second Sherman on the field. Sturmpanzer, Stas Truppen, I mean. Going to get forced back. Should live there. And those Grenadiers also going to have to leave. And that looks like some recon tractor barrages coming down. Absolutely shredding the Heavy machine gun there. Might even pick him up. He's going to retreat now, but losing that vet 1 unit would be most unfortunate. Bazooka's trying to find an angle, but not going to get a whole lot done. And it feels like a compositional advantage for our German players right now. Nothing new for him. Nothing really new for our British player yet, other than he... I mean, I know he had 3 of those Australian light infantry, but it feels like he dropped a model there. Big old push coming in. Sherman's on the side of this Sturmpanzer. That's a great angle for them, but there's Flak 36 ready for it. We're going to need to see a barrage called down. Strafing run being called down as well. Trying to deal with those bishops. That's a teal player this time, so that's the Stuka Loiter. Isn't really going to be able to deal with that. Going to destroy the 2-pounder with his packs. Very even game so far. But victory points slowly starting to tick down here for our allies. This Flak 36 going on an adventure. Going to find a pack of bazookas, but going to make it out somehow. Is he going to pick up the mine? Oh my god, not finding the mine. That is the luckiest 250 in the history of mankind. Stuka barrage connecting well, moderately. And going to drive back that heavy machine gun. German looking for trouble. Going to find it in the form of that Flak 36. Going to have to get out of there. Popping smoke instead. And he is going to eat another round there. Pack round. Not going to happen. Bishop's barraging. Probably going to clean out that veteran C1 there. It's good for him. Good for our allies, I should say. And no real changes for our players' builds here. And I'm sure everyone's floating about him. Oh my god, could I stop clicking? I keep hitting the hotkey to switch out the... to accidentally switch our players' sides. Oh, okay. Reconnaissance tractor being found out by bazookas. And is going to bail out of there. Stuka in a bad spot. Poppin' smoke. Should make it out. No long-range units there. Commando's going to get flanked. AT gun also going to get flanked here. Trying to deal with this unit. Archer set up. Getting some good connections on that Vet 3 Sturmpanzer. But these Stostrom going to make short work of that AT gun. There's a heavy machine gun trying to help out but doesn't have vision. Aussies trying to slow this roll, and bazookas, Vet 3 going down. Freaking disaster there. Here comes another barrage. Not going to connect. Commando's trying to clean them out on their way out the door. Might be assisted by these Australian light infantry, but looks like they're going to get out of there. And our third Sherman of the game on the way. We do see 2 archers on the field now. Nothing really new for our Africa Corps player other than he's dropped a few models. And Archer finding a good shot there, but the Flak 36 getting a shot in return is going to be pulled out. Stuka barrage not quite connecting. And this game is on a knife's edge here. A third Sherman should be able to help out. We could be looking at a dive here potentially, but we do see a third third pack gun on the way. And I love this from our allies. Just holding down this point with as few units as possible. Grenadier's going to see that mine going down. German going to get a upgrade. It's veterancy. Nice little barrage there from the Bishop catching those Stosstruppen. Not going to be able to hold them back off the point. Triple cap on the road here. Allies were bleeding pretty quickly there for a minute, and this Vet 3 Sturmpanzer is unbelievably scary. So he's got, what, 35% rate of fire, extra frontal armor. Yeah, that thing is god tier. Minesweeper's picking up this mine. Sherman gonna try and slow it down, but losing vision. 2 Shermans on this top side, trying to deal with this flak. Popping smoke. Archer's helping out in the back line, but may have a Sherman go down here. And especially with this anti-tank loiter. Oh, pack gun not finding him, but is going to get him there, despite losing vision. Bishop's barraging. Clearing 2 of the packs. And that could be really good if our allies manage to deny those packs being recaptured. And man, this map is really cratering out here. What once was covered in cover everywhere and hedgerows everywhere is now just a barren wasteland. Sherman trying to find an angle on the side, but going to be driven back by the pack. Sturmpanzer thinking about advancing here, and German player did manage to recrew all his packs. Going to eat a ton of damage here on the Sherman. Third shell bouncing, going to allow this unit to escape. And that flak 30, the Sturmpanzer bouncing shells from the 76mm is just crazy with that vet 3. U.S. players' army looking a bit sad here, as is our British players. And a Tiger now on the field for our Africa Corps player. That is going to be really, really tough to deal with. Does have 2 archers still. Where are they at? Kind of in the back line. Feels like they're struggling to move forward, right? The threat of that flak 36 is pretty impactful. And we're going to see a little bit of a moment of quiet here. And it does feel like our allies need to continue to be active on the wings of the map, right? They've had a hard time in this central area. Archer's finding great damage on that Tiger. Heavy machine gun going to hold this point down, stop the bleeding. Bishop's continuing to barrage away that flak 36. Heavy machine gun might go down here. All those grenades landing in a single point. Stoßtruppen are going to clean them out there, and that's another devastating loss for our allies. Vet 3 heavy machine gun going down. Pretty much irreplaceable at this stage. Victory points still very, very even, all things considered. And Commando's going to move out here. More Stoßtruppen holding it down. And Bombeer just doing what it does. Unafraid of all these AT guns. AT weapons, I should say, just given the front armor. Bazookas gonna escape with their lives. The machine gun holding down that left side. Archers finding some good shots. Are gonna be forced back. Another looks like there's a call-in coming down. Oh, the anti-tank call-in from our Germans. That is gonna put an end to the fight there. Yep, gonna clean out these archers. What a fight. Yeah, it really felt like our U.S. Army got out to a really strong start, or our allies, I should say. But then unfortunately for them, that motorbike just captured a ton of territory on that top side. So despite holding the rich field point, they weren't able to control other essential parts of the map. Our Axis did just enough to control the victory points, keep themselves in that game for the long term, and really get into that heavy anti-tank and indirect fire, and from there just able to seal it out. But well played by both teams. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2v2, and I'll see you in the next video.